So for the USA game, the first 3 fights, you were in the car.
Yeah, I was on my way home from Spring Hill.
But so were you watching it or were you listening to it? Or nothing?
Well, no. So what I did was I took my little stand for my vent out of my car and put it in Lisa's car because that's the one I took. And I fired the game on. I'm good. I grew up listening to games on the radio. I can visualize where they're at on the ice, everything like that. And you hear the whistle blow like 10 seconds into the stream, and I'm kind of in a spotty service area, so like the game's kind of cutting in and out. And I had just got on the road, man, after getting gas when the puck stopped, and then all of a sudden I just like peeked over at the screen. I saw 2 gloves on the ground. I'm thinking, oh boy, like my immediate thought process was international hockey. These guys are going to be suspended. But then I went, oh well, it's Tkachuk. That's good. He's gone. But it's NHL rules, so you're allowed to fight. So that whole thing kind of got my adrenaline going. I had to pull over.
I just picture you like punching the roof. Going,
I would like my texts to you were screams because I was shaking my steering wheel. Like I was like, are you kidding? Like I'm screaming in my car. If you drove by me, you probably thought I was a lunatic. A little bit of illegal activity having the game on during, but I wasn't watching the game because it was kind of shitty out. But
water. Keep going.
I mean, I was going absolutely bananas because I never once considered that there would be fights. Do you know what I mean? Like I knew that there was a feud, and I knew that this was, a big game for both these nations, but you just don't ever envision one fight, let alone 3 in the first 9 seconds. Like I even tweeted out, if that didn't send a jolt to your pants, and it's time to book a doctor's appointment because, I pulled over on the side of the road because it just wasn't safe for me to be driving. So I can't imagine being in the building.
What a win for hockey. Just a breath of fresh air.
And someone said, oh, I don't see any, or what were your thoughts on the fights? And I think it might've been John Cooper maybe, but someone said, well, I didn't see anybody heading for the exits. And I think Jeff said this before he left, or maybe it was you, Cohen, but somebody in here said that what a game for hockey. Like that's true hockey. Fights, hits, hate, love, plays, heartbreak. Like that's the game of hockey in a nutshell. When you put those 40 players into that 200-foot dome, that's what should come of it. And it was just absolutely crazy. And I think people that weren't hockey fans, like for example, the NBA All-Star shenanigans were going on, and I bet you people were skipping over that to go watch what was going on, right? If you have to be living under a rock to not know what was up. So I think hockey won as a whole in that day, as much as Canada didn't win. I think hockey kind of got a new light shed on it.
Yeah, 100%. It's a win for both teams. Even though Canada lost, it's just a win for hockey.
Yeah, big time.
There was an unbelievable game.
60-some hits in the game, man.
Unbelievable.
Like, you barely see 60 in an NHL game.
The first 10 minutes of the first period, I was just standing up.
It took like 45 minutes. But what can you say? A guy like Hagel, I saw him fight once. Every now and then you got to fight just because. But for him to do that, I knew Sam Bennett and Brady Tkachuk had a little bit of a feud, which is funny because Bennett plays with Matthew Tkachuk. So it's like, that's just like, that's how crazy these guys are, man. Like the Tkachuk plays with Bennett. They know that he hates his brother, and then they fight, and they're enemies for that 60 minutes. Yeah. They're probably not texting after the game, but like, they're just the ability to like put your friendships aside or your hate aside for 60 minutes is unbelievable when it comes to the NHL.
I heard a great take during that game. I forget who said it. I was watching it with a couple buddies, and they were like, in terms of like high emotions, what a setting for Binnington. Also playing in the Stanley Cup Finals, high emotion, but right away 3 fights. Binnington, he loves that high emotion. He wears with a heart on his sleeve type of guy.
Yep.
I'm thinking, okay, if that's going on, 100%, that was a great take. Binnington loves being a part of these games where pride is on the line, emotions are high, hate is on the all that emotion jammed into one hockey game. It's like, oh yeah, Binnington is in this right now.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a great take. I really thought that. After the fights were done, they started to play. Like I think the fights were an emotion built up into too much of a ball. It's like, okay, there's too much emotion, something's got to give.
Yeah, we got to release.
And obviously 1 second in, there was too much emotion. I completely get it. Man, imagine you're a player, all the emotion, everything going into it. How does it feel to play against Canada? How does it feel to play against USA? Like everything just built up into 1 second. Just exploded in the first 10 seconds of the game with 3 fights. Like that's what I think those fights were. Just too much emotion. Let's get it out of the way. All right, now let's play hockey.
Everything on the outside too.
Yes, exactly. And after those 3 fights, it was a hockey game.
It was great too.
It was unbelievable.
Yep.
It was a great, I don't even know if there was too many penalties called after that. It was just pure, beautiful bliss hockey.
How do you call penalties after 3 fights? You know what I mean? It's like everything looks clean after that.
I will say this too about the tournament. Fantastic reffing.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Big Wes McCauley got in there too.
Just
Yeah, man.
great.
Yeah,
Like
letting them play.
Letting them play.
Let the players decide the outcome.
And
right?
that's what a good ref is.
Hey, let's get the Twiggies going.